CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We are like part of the checks and balances for the system. The only person we have to advocate for is that child.
A child has done nothing wrong. The child should be entitled to have a normal life. The goal is always that a willing family come forward and take care of this child forever. And that's what every child deserves. These CASA volunteers give so selflessly of their hearts that sometimes, even now, I get a little choked up, that they devote their lives to these kids. Some of them have full-time jobs. They'll take their personal days to appear in court. That's how important those kids feel to those CASAs, and that's how important they really, truly are treated.
The children I see are lost and confused. They've been taken away from home. Maybe they were abused at home, maybe they were neglected, maybe they were abandoned. And they see a lot of people. They might see 2 or 3 different judges. They will see more than one CPS worker. You know, the children would appreciate somebody to just be a regular guy, a regular gal, right? A buddy, and follow them through this process.
Michael's case was a little bit different because he was a little bit older. Some of the information that we received upon Michael entering care placed him in a situation where he didn't immediately go into a foster home. He went into a residential treatment center.
I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't seen any pictures of him. And I had read his CPS file, which was full of horrible things that his parents had said and that CPS picked up here and there. He came in and sweetest looking little boy you ever saw. He was little, he was kind, he was polite, he was afraid, he was shy, and he looked lost. And I said, this is not what I read about. Nothing about this boy matches what I read. I didn't go into his history, I just got to know him, and he got to know me. Apparently the parents were not equipped or educated enough to handle Michael's needs. Michael's father ended up taking him to 4 different hospitals that had mental care. And at the last one, he said, I'm not coming back this time. The father left Michael at a hospital and told the hospital staff, you're going to have to find him another home, but I'm not coming back. And he left him. So he was an abandoned child and neglected and emotionally abused and mistreated mentally. So it was at that point that I came into his life.
He was placed quite a ways away from where we are here in McKinney. I believe at least 2.5 hours away. That was not something that appeared to concern Roger. What concerned Roger is that he knew that Michael was waiting for that visit.
My time with him had to be probably the best thing that he was away. Because I always get a call from him, or that he'd tell me he'd come, and I'd just like clear my whole schedule just for him. I just couldn't wait till he arrived. I think his laugh makes him him. You'd know when you made him laugh because he just won't stop. I just think we were both the same person. I don't know, I just felt like we had a connection from the 3rd visit, getting to know this person and getting to know his wife. He's a special guy.
He had like 17 cavities that no one had taken care of. And my wife and my wife's a CASA helping hand. She and I went to this hospital and we waited for him, and he came out and his mouth was all full of cotton and medicine and all of this stuff, and that's when we realized how bad it was. He was horribly neglected, medically, psychologically. The RTC they were doing him some good in that they would take care of things like that, but they tended to medicate him instead of treat him. The RTC was not exactly like home, and when he got something like a pair of glasses, they might not last long. They'd get broken, stolen, stepped on, lost. He got black eyes. He got a rock thrown at him one day when he was minding his own business, standing out in the field. He was hit right above his eye here with a rock. He had to go to the hospital and get stitches. He's so used to bad things happening to him that he doesn't get upset when bad things happen on and on.
He moved mountains. I just think it's his belief in that child. And he fought tooth and nail to get him placed in a regular foster care situation, because he just told us from the very start, he doesn't belong here. He just belongs in a home. That's all he needs, is he needs some love and he needs some bonding. And Roger was right there on the case.
What can we do for him? How can we get him out of this place? Where can we take him? What's the next step? He can't stay in this place forever. CASA's job is to lead them and be with them to a permanent home, whatever it is. In Michael's case, it was going to have to be adoption. Everything I did was step by step trying to get him adopted. And so when he was finally ready, I was too. He was ready he didn't belong there anymore.
Roger and CASA and CPS thought, you know, what if we put him on a video? Because he's just very charming. He's a very charming young man. When he went on Wednesday's Child, they had a great response, and then the people that are just amazing stepped up to the plate.
I had seen Wednesday's Child 100 times and always would stop and pray for the kid that they would have a good family and move on. And when we saw him, I mean, I just laid in bed at night worrying about him, and I just couldn't, I don't know, I just couldn't let him go.
The thing that we saw in Michael's story was that as Michael got into a more secure and safe environment, he really flourished. He really did well as his life was more predictable. And so Roger testified to that was true. And the fact that what to me was amazing was, you know, Roger went down for nearly 18 months every other Saturday, spent the whole time with him, whole day with him, and took him places. He knew Michael well. You know, Roger being able to say, this is a really wonderful kid, and I know this kid. And had he known him for a week or 2 weeks, I don't know that would have been enough for me. But 18 months of going every other week and spending, he had time to see the good, the bad, the wonderful, the potential. He knew that. He knew this boy.
With Michael, if Roger hadn't continually said, he's normal, he needs to be in a normal, loving home, we might have just said, okay, he's in an RTC, that must mean that it's all about Michael, that Michael needs a higher level of care, because the problem was not Michael. What Roger was able to help us visualize back in the courtroom was, this is a child who lived in chaos. That is not the child that he would be if he had a permanent, loving, nurturing, appropriate home, because Roger was seeing the true Michael. And as you see now, we have a perfectly normal boy, just as Roger was advocating.
Getting a family for me had to be the best thing. You know, I just missed that time with him. You know, he's the one that basically kind of got me here. And I wake up every day just like, thank you for giving me, you know, what I need.
If I can just save one child here and there, it would be worth it to me. One by one, you can hopefully change somebody's life.
The servants' hearts that they display are just incredible. I think that all of us don't recognize what we don't have in ourselves, but when we see it in others, we can just be in awe.